Good evening and welcome to Sunday Politics, where we bring you the latest in political news across Nigeria. I am Shafiu Suleiman. Tonight, we dive into the just concluded Edo governorship election. It was a tight race between PDP's Osadolo and APC's Monday Akpebolu, with INEC now declaring Akpebolu the winner. The outcome has sparked protests from PDP supporters questioning the results. Now, joining us to break down the election and its aftermath are the PDP National Youth Leader Timothy Osadolo and CDD's Armsfree Ajanaku. But first, let's take a look at some key moments from the election.
We say no because of our children that are yet unborn. We say no. I'm What is all we are saying? This is the voice of the people. This is the voice.
Footage is coming from Benin, that is the Edo state capital, where INEC is about to declare the winner of the just concluded Saturday governorship election in the state. Now, as things stand, looking at the figures coming out from the collation center, in this election, 17 out of the 18 local government areas have had their results announced already, with APC polling so far 275,329, and PDP, that is the ruling PDP in the state, polling 220,892, and then followed by the Labour Party, which has 18,737. So far, only one local government result is being awaited, and as soon as that result is ready, INEC is tidying up and then ready to announce the winner of the just concluded election. Now, while we await our guests to join, who are joining us virtually, Armsfree Ajanaku is the lead fact checker and, of course, consultant with the Center for Democracy and Development. Also, going to be joined by the PDP National Vice Youth Leader, Timothy Osadolo, who is right now in Benin, and perhaps at the Coalition Center to also give us a perspective, if you like, or context to what has just transpired in the state with regards to the conduct of the state governorship election, and of course the reactions from his political party, the PDP. Already, as you are aware, the PDP has been raising concerns, about concerning the what you call, the handling of the election by the electoral management body, especially the coalition. At some point, the incumbent governor has to go to the INEC office to register his grievance over the stoppage, if you like, or the suspension of the coalition, which has already resumed and is about to be concluded right now. And then the candidate of the PDP has also been questioning perhaps the conduct of the exercise, saying that it might be the worst in history that INEC will conduct for Nigeria. Now, all these are reactions coming from the, the key actors in this election, while the APC is also set to celebrate. As you can see in that video, there are a host of supporters who have already started jubilating ahead of the final announcement of the result. So we'll take a short break here. When we return, we engage our resource persons who will be joining us shortly. Thank you for staying with us on Sunday Politics, your go-to destination for fresh developments in the polity. And just like I said earlier, we have joining us all the way from Benin. Benin, that is the Edo State capital, the national vice youth leader of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, Timothy Osadolo. Timothy has been on ground, to witness the conduct of this exercise. Thank you for joining us, Timothy.
Suleiman, good evening, and good evening, Nigerians.
All right. Just give me a sense of the atmosphere right now in Benin, or rather the INEC Coalition Center, as the final results are being rolled out.
Well, the mood in Benin is akin to the mood in Nigeria had when the last presidential elections were being announced. It's mournful, and people are down-spirited and talking in hush tones in several private homes across. It's as if something has left the city, and the energy is quite low. But the Coalition Center, the INEC officials who are the key players and of the active players of the electoral process as of today are busy doing their bits of the job for which they have come here. But the spirit outside the hall is that of, I don't know, disillusionment should be a word that suffice to try to capture how people feel and how people react to what's ongoing. Yes, 17 local government areas have been purportedly announced. But what strikes one most is the statement made by the REC that the results he announced or is announcing, this is the result he has to announce, and that whatever is reflecting the IREF or whatever is reflecting the IREF is not of his business. And that begins to throw a lot of questions to discerning minds. Why did we in the first instance subscribe to IREF? Why did we in the first instance subscribe to Beavers? If it will apply for one part of the state and not apply for another certain district in the state, is there two rules to this election, or is it general, or there's no rule for all? Those are some questions that discerning minds are asking themselves, and Nigerians should ask themselves. Today is a bill which is a one-off state. Tomorrow it can be another one-off state. By the time we realize what's happening, the entire country might have been there.
Yeah, but Timothy, are you questioning, I mean, the validity, if you like, or the authenticity of the results that are being announced by INEC? Nigerians have been following keenly the fact that this, election results are being rolled out real time on the INEC portal, or IREP, as it were. Are you saying that there is a contradiction between what is on the IREP, if you like, and what the INEC is announcing?
The figures the IREP has real time, and marrying vis-a-vis with what our good rec is reading out will show a very fantastic discrepancies. You will see vote of a party being suppressed almost at 5%, and the vote of another party being increased by almost 8%. It's on the IREF. What's on the IREF? You have it from all the Nigerians can see it from any part of the world. But what the figures you are hearing, some fantastic figures you are hearing now, you can just do a simple basic arithmetic. It's not what Timothy says or has to say. It's what the IREF that INEC created is showing, and what the man that's the IREF commissioner or the IREF whatever is reading. It's a no-brainer. So we can see where we are.
But looking at the numbers, for instance, the distance is quite much for someone to think that there are some discrepancy. Anyway, looking at the current figures standing at 275,329 for the APC and 220,892 for the PDP so far collated from the, or rather announced from the 17 local governments. The gap, if you like, is about 55,000, which is much. Do you think it is someone can?
The question you is a quick taking mind will be quick to ask. The Nigerians purportedly voted these numbers from the result being announced by the REC. As you see, the Nigerians that have to buy fuel for 1,200, or the ones buying a bag of rice for over 100,000, or the ones buying basic groceries far amount ridiculous and far above the approved minimum wage. So you ask yourself, this result, is it a genuine reflection of the people that they are clearly voted? That is why I said a careful study or a careful arithmetic of what they have uploaded on their own system, IREF, and what the man is reading. And the man was quoted or was seen on national television a while ago saying, whatever is online, what he has to read is what he has to read. I don't think, I think people should interrogate him further. I think journalists should interrogate him further. And I believe the most important part is the flagrant abuse of the electoral process, which clearly states that collation of ward results must hold at ward collation centers, and collation of LGA results should hold at the LGA collation centers. What we have seen happening in Oredo, Oaxaca, and Lagos, the three largest local governments in Edo State, is where collation of ward results, collation of LGA results are being automatically moved without escorts to the State Independent Electoral Commission's premises, which is an abuse of the Electoral Act, which is flagrant destruction of any medium of all the provisos guiding this election. I think that creates rules for concern. The elections held yesterday, it's only today that sensitive materials used in conducting elections are now being released to collective agents for sightseeing, as against those results that were entered in quick time at the various polling units and centers. So that we begin to ask, why did these papers that the INEC man is saying he wants to read now is that more important than what his officers of the field collected on the IREF or the tablet he gave to them that grants access to IREF? Why did he give them access to have those machines and tabulate real time and not be willing to listen to what those same machines are captured real time?
But Timothy. Yeah, but Timothy, some will wonder why you are making these allegations now, considering the fact that you have representatives at all levels of the conduct of the exercise, from the ward to the local government and then up to the collation center. You know, your representatives there ought to have raised such concerns.
I'm sure, like many other Nigerians, you are hearing it now for the first time, but people have been talking since yesterday. So now that those that perhaps those that also heard yesterday are not around now to hear today, it's a continuous process. Voices have been crying out since yesterday over this. That you're hearing for the first time now doesn't mean this is the first time it's been said. It also doesn't mean that those who hear it for the first time, it makes it the first time it's been said. It's all angles, all channels, all platforms. I say my own here, those who have on that platform to say it, but the most important thing is not me saying it or another person saying it, it's verified.
Timothy, oh, okay. I understand there's some glitches there. Okay, if you're there, Timothy, Nigerians will be wondering why, a ruling party in the state, which ought to have been consolidating, is now crying foul. A government that has been there for 8 years, and then yet, it couldn't hold on to. Some say it was the PDP's making, especially looking at a number of factors. Timothy, some raise a lot of concerns in respect to how the PDP has fared in the state in the last 8 years in terms of its performance, and also the challenge. I mean, the internal crisis within the party, the rift between the governor and his former deputy, and so on and so forth. Did you think it was the making, if you like, of your party to be on the edge?
Well, let me tell you, Shafiu, I truly one day you become not just a seasoned journalist that you are, but also an industrialist who has who one day own several media houses. Now, as we speak now, the whole country can not fault that the fault is you are very cerebral and you do your job diligently. God forbid tomorrow the management now say, oh, we have not fired Mr. Shafiu Suleiman for not for crossing competence. And they make that statement and you are not on the platform to reply there. That is not a true referendum on your person. For those that know you, we know you to be cerebral and it is. It's the same case with some of the federal institutions. I don't like those calling of decentralization or the visitation of power, the devolution of power from federal government. They are not so wrong. INEC is controlled by the federal government. The police is controlled by the federal government. The army is controlled by the federal government. The directive easily is controlled by the federal government because all the institutions designed and assigned to conduct these elections are owned by the federal government far above beyond the control of the state government. So you are putting the state government and the Edo people at the mercy of an individual in National Rock. And we have seen how he made a commitment to hand over Edo back to his friends. During his campaign tour to Edo and during his acceptance tour.
But all of these are allegations, Timothy. What is on ground, before you joined the conversation, we had video clips, showing a mixed kind of reaction to the ongoing exercise that is a coalition. While some are begin to register their protests, but there are a number of people who have also rolled out the drums to celebrate this victory. Did you think, perhaps because you are the ones on the losing side, that's what you are crying for?
Either way, I win or I win. I can never lose. Whatever you think is a losing curve is actually a learning curve. So when you learn, you don't lose. So for me, I will never cry foul. I will only cry foul. I will only pity. I will express pity for those who are laughing at what will become of them in the near future. Now, let me tell you, I don't say because I'm Timothy Osadolo or I'm supporting the candidate of a party or I belong to a party who's not being favored currently. I don't need anybody's validation or favor. What I think we all need as Nigerians is good governance, justice, and equity. We don't even need anything about equity or favor. Once you get justice, I believe every other things will follow. Now, you are saying all of this. My fear and my worry first and foremost is this. The volume of cash dispensed for doing these elections. I wonder how much people are taking to fix the federal roads or the bypasses in Benin, or how many months or years it will take to repay back, since they're sending the loan to the economic governments for repay. Now I begin to wonder, how are they going to start to begin to repay these monies that we advance to them, or I won't say both minor or whatever it is, but let me say these monies that we advance to oil this machinery. How do they tend to pay it back? Whose taxpayers' money, whose federal allocation, and whose IGRO? Well, my point is this: if there are people that are happy with the process, to God be the glory. I wish them well, and I pray God keeps them alive to to enjoy the consequences of their today's happiness. If there are those who are protesting against this, may God give them strength to always cry out what is right and what is just, seemingly or otherwise.
Yeah, Timothy, you raised a fundamental issue which has been captured by most of the observers. That is the involvement of money, talking about vote buying now. There has been concerns around manipulation, of the current situation in the country, the weaponization of poverty, but it is across party lines. Nobody, there are also allegations against your party, the PDP, and so on. So it got across all the political parties. Why are you pushing it, to the APC, for instance?
Well, for me, the APC people are free to say what they know. They know if they know better or they know otherwise. What I do know is that people in my community, people in my area, told me firsthand what they got. I won, we won, and we bet our votes and our areas will not be enough to determine the fate of the entire states. But I have people who today can tell you I was given this as well. I was offered some decline, some took, and did what they need to do. These people are there, they are existent. So it's not a question of I think or I know. I know firsthand. I see these people who came to me. I know them. I live with them. So if they could tell me this and show me physical proof, and from the nature of currencies I saw with them, and the humongous nature of it, I would need to like a 1.5 million minimum per unit for the data 4,500 something polling units in states. I am of the opinion that, like one of them told me, that he suspects that the money may have come from the seized money meant for destruction at the CBN by Mayfield. I don't know where these monies came from, but I do know that these monies came, and I'm wondering why and how it went into circulation. But the very nature of the texture of the currencies speaks volume as to how it should really, where it possibly could have come from. Because monies that go through the banking system on a daily basis don't have such texture, moisture, or decay.
These are allegations or concerns that have to be tested and proven.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with the allegations, but
Yeah.
are they verifiable? That is where I want people to interrogate.
Okay. Okay.
I've not said what I've said is a fact,
Yeah.
or should be taken as a fact.
Okay, Timothy, moments before the conduct of the election, there has been concerns around security arrangement and perhaps the deployment, and of course, some of the arrests that were said to have been made before the election. Give me your sense of assessment, if you like, of the security, the role played by security during this election.
I don't intend to grandstand. I don't intend to grandstand when I say, yours sincerely speaking to you. I have not slept in my house for the past 16 days because among the so-called wanted lists from Abuja, it was those who they know swing elections. It was those who they believe had the will to bring the voters' mobilization. Twice, my CCTV camera, where let's not go into some details, where people who believe that this suppression thing is so, they haven't reasons to believe so, but it's true. I know it's true. I, for one, can say it's true because let's not push it too far. But this happened, and that should not be in a sane society.
Yeah, but looking at the comments being made by observers, those who have watched the conduct of the election, they are praising the people of Edo and of course and all the stakeholders for conducting a peaceful exercise. There hasn't been major incidences of electoral violence or so. Did you think that must have invalidated the initial concern?
When poverty is weaponized, when hunger reigns supreme, when you not know that you can die or I can die and nobody will give you a push, you will not know that there are things you should ordinarily avoid. Things like protest, they are not a matter for Christ's sake, it's an electoral process. You are not coming here to die for anybody or to pay the price for anybody. You are not Jesus Christ. Your role is to play the role and ask for your vote to be counted. If you have voted and it didn't count, it's something else. But truth be told, it is not healthy for our democratic process. It's not in the best interest of our electoral process and not in the best interest of our country. Voters, no matter who they choose to vote for, these votes should be allowed to count and should be made to count. Because at the end of the day, it not only enriches the democratic process and exercise, it gives us some level of sanity and dignity, not only as a nation, but as a people in the community of nations.
Okay, finally, before we let you go, Timothy, your party, the PDP, is on trial again, looking at the fact that it is the ruling party in Edo, and now it is losing ground. And, you know, it's coming at the time there has been also internal crisis within the party, which some say may have also contributed to where you are today. You know, how would you react to this finally before we let you go?
First and foremost, what has happened in Edo is about regime security and not state security. What has happened in Edo is about power hegemonization and not people's welfare. This what happened in Edo has got to do with internal party politics. The voters that are going to be governed, 90% are not politicians. Whatever happens to the political party is of no interest to any voter. What voters want to hear is how their lives will be better through good governance and economic policies for their welfare and that of their children. If you are talking about internal parties, Timothy may have been this, or Governorship might have been that, or Shafiu might have been this, or might have been that. That is not the problem of the average Edo man or the average Nigerian on the streets. The problem that we have is economic, is security, and is infrastructure. If we tackle all of this, people will not have problems with what they shall do themselves. Again, I say this as a matter of fact. We are not about to say a goodbye to PDP. No. There are more than one. There are too many things on the line for the two people to let go. Yes, the Irish man has a right to bring what's before him. The two people also have a right, and the PDP also has a right to prove and defend the votes in court of the two people. And that is why there's other avenues to take these issues to and explore. So we are hopeful, we are confident that the electoral process does not start at end on the table of the REC.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, Timothy Osadolo, for your inputs, you know, all the way from Benin, the Edo State capital, and we wish you all the best, you know, in the future endeavors, or rather, we also hope that the peaceful atmosphere there will be sustained, you know, beyond this exercise. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Right. Okay, we'll take a break, and when we return, we will be joining Armsfree Ajanaku, who is the lead fact checker and, of course, disinformation consultant with the Center for Democracy and Development to give us his perspective, or rather the group's perspective in respect to the conduct of the exercise. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll go straight to join Armsfree.
I didn't know I could write.
People don't let calamity, you know, be the end of you. If you survive, take something out of it.
That's
So he's that kind of person that all he wants is to see that Nigeria has changed for a better place. That's all he's after.
authors, sometimes you've come to realize the message you're trying to convey through your books Is that exactly what you mean?
Use names that reflect your indigenous culture and your language. Because names, our names, carries our history.
I could put this thing that I could write, I could start writing. Sometimes I'll write it in another book, and when I get home, I'll transfer it to the
Thank you very much for staying with us. It's still Sunday Politics, and of course, reaching you live from Trust TV here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. And joining us for the conversation tonight is Armsfree Ajanaku from the Center for Democracy and Development. Armsfree, thank you for joining.
Shafiu, my pleasure to be here.
Right, your group, has put out a preliminary report on this governorship poll in Edo. Can you tell us what has changed so far?
Yes, so the crux of our preliminary reports had to do with the fact that the process, surprisingly, despite all of the very intemperate rhetoric that characterized the build-up to the elections, we saw a process that was relatively peaceful, a process in which most of the political actors, the candidates in the elections, were unanimous in agreeing that the INEC had done, to a reasonable extent, that has done its part in ensuring that it provides that right environment for the electorate to come out and cast their ballots. And we also commended the fact that the process up till the end of voting was peaceful. So to your question about what has changed, I think what has now read its ugly head is the desperate political antics we see that are generally associated with the coalition process. And so we have heard reports of attempts, earlier this morning to, hold up the coalition process. We had reports about some areas in which the process was getting heated up, and then there were some objections to the process. So I think the whole reality of coalition is where we're beginning to see some kind of reservations, because the voting process went on smoothly. Surprisingly, the beavers worked very well in the areas where our observers reported. The process was seamless. In terms of transparency too of the process, we saw very rapid upload of polling unit results to the INEC result viewing portal, which is something that adds some additional layer of transparency and accountability to the electoral process. But of course, it is still the sticking point of coalition. Coalition still remains one of the weak chains, because of course the coalition process is it's somewhat, and that's what the law provides, but it's somewhat unwieldy. Before you take the results from the polling unit to the ward level coalition to the local government coalition, so that whole manual process of moving the results around is also posing to be proving to be yet another weak link in the process.
Right. Okay. It seems you are also you are in a way reinforcing the earlier allegation now by the PDP that there are discrepancies in terms of the what is obtained from the polling units in terms of the results and what is being reeled out, if you like, or rolled out at the collation center. I don't know, you've been following the figures very, very closely. Are there discrepancies as alleged?
Yeah, so our methodology, as it stands, we cannot speak to the results. We cannot speak to the figures that are coming out. Yes, we have seen one or two instances where the fact-checking desk of the CDD war room, which is very engaged with the whole effort to counter disinformation. We have seen some result sheets being shared where we have seen some instances of the number of valid vote cast, being higher than accredited voters, but that was in just like 2 to 3 instances, so we don't know how widespread it is. So Shafiu, what I would say is we need to tarry a while, we need to hold on a while, to be able to like see how the process unfolds. We do not, we're not in a position right now to say whether there were discrepancies to the extent that undermines the credibility of the process. Tomorrow, and of course, you are invited to that process. We are giving also a post-election briefing in the morning, and between now and that time, I'm sure we have some more detail to share. But for now, we cannot accurately say, okay, this is because it will mean we'll have to look at the numbers, we have to look at a lot of things, and this is not time for us to do that.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Like I said, there are stands, and in fact, CDD joined a group of other civil society organizations, including Yaga Africa, including Electa, and other civil society organizations to raise some to reach to basically say the challenge we're seeing with the collation process being held up. In fact, you remember that INEC issued a statement earlier today where it talked about how it has been having challenges with some political actors trying to hold up the collation process and trying to disrupt the collation process. So we called for transparency, and we also called in that statement for INEC to invoke its powers, the powers it has under the Electoral Act to actually take a second look at the results if it is proven that there are widespread discrepancy that would affect the credibility of the poll.
Right.
So what I'm saying in essence is that we are not making any allegations, we are not making any categorical statements. We are just saying, just in case there are any challenges, we must be, INEC must be ready to while we at this point are not really saying, there is.
Right. Okay. It's about time we also engage our viewers, especially from Edo, who have, taken their time to exercise their franchise. The number to call will soon be on your screen, so you can call us, especially viewers coming from Edo. Share your thought with us. But while we do that, Armsfree, I don't know before a part of your preliminary report yesterday, raised concerns around the late arrival of materials, late arrival of INEC officials, and so on and so forth. To what extent do you think, even though there has been an extension of time to allow voters, to exercise their franchise, towards the end of, your report came in midway into the conduct. Has there been? Did you record, if you like, improvement in the process leading to the collation? Okay, I understand we have a caller. Just hold it before you answer that question. I think we have a caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Shafiu Suleiman.
Yes, good evening. Who do we have on the line?
You are speaking to Ali Umar Shamaki from Akonga, Nasarawa State.
Okay, Ali, go ahead, please.
Yeah, in fact, it is very unfortunate to me because there's no justice and there's no transparency. From the beginning, there was complaint before the PO, that's the presiding officer. And to me, everybody knows what is going on in this country because the situation that we are into is the government of APC democracy. Nobody left the state in that state and vote. It is the people of Edo that voted what they want. But it was a start for me when I saw some people are jubilating when some are start. So, in fact, there is problem in the INEC because there was complaint the delayance of the materials. But since it is what they want and what they choose, it's all depends for them. So this is my solution. Thank you very much.
Okay, even though it is just like you said, I was struggling to get what you're trying to sum up. But then there are also, in the videos we show, there are people jubilating, there are others protesting. So it's a mixed reaction kind of. Okay, thank you very much, by the way, for your input. We will continue to receive your calls as they come in. But let me get Armsfree to answer that question.
So the specific question focusing basically
on whether there has been a recorded improvement concerning the issues you raised earlier.
Yes. So as at the time we put out our statement yesterday, the later part of our statement also gave a very significant view of how it was 8 hours. And people that even in cases where there was late arrival, by the time the process started, by the time voting started, the late arrival was not too obvious. The process was seamless. The Labour Party candidate he spent about 3 minutes to.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right.
Well, not so much glitchy like with past elections.
Okay, Armsfree. Okay, I think we have another caller. Let me get you to hold on a bit. Let's hear from this caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, who do we have on the line?
Oh, my name is Ukechukwu Nwogu, calling from Ebonyi State.
From Ebonyi. Okay, go ahead, please.
All right. Mine is simple, just to commend the INEC for the conduct of this election. This is the most credible election we've seen in Nigeria, beginning from logistics, everything, down to this level. This is the most organized election program. Nigeria is improving.
Okay.
If they will continue, if our INEC will continue, then in 2027, the winner of every post must be the one to emerge. The INEC should not compromise.
Yeah.
The security should beef up their work and let the final result be declared.
Right. Thank you.
Nigerians were hoping to see the final result, and there should not be any manipulation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your input. And, Armsfree, I would like you to take it on from there. He is actually looking at the improvement in terms of the handling of the exercise by INEC. I don't know if you also agree with him that there has been substantial improvement on the conduct looking at the previous exercises.
Yes, obviously, there have been areas of very positive outcomes which we cannot deny, and really about not just being negative about the process, where we want to be able to build on it. And even for our today, we urge that some of the positive we saw in this election, this operation of the big bars, the fact that, peaceful, the role of the security agencies in
okay.
in this election.
Right. Okay. We're having challenges with the output there.
Is part of the process that has to do with the coalition.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Armsfree. I understand time is also against us at this point in time. We would have to thank you for coming on the show despite the tight schedule. I understand you're preparing for the post-election conference tomorrow. Thank you very much for your inputs. And viewers, thank you very much also for joining us on the conversation tonight. And of course, for those of you that of course we also appreciate your calls. And this is where we had to come to the end of the conversation tonight. On behalf of the technical crew, my name is Shafiu Suleiman, thanking you.